Welcome back. This is Kyle with All In Survival. Today we're going to talk about the difference between immediate, emergency, and long-term survival. When that's done, we're going to go into emergency preparedness and emergency food supply. Behind me, we got a couple of Husky containers. I'll show you what's inside. We'll get into it. All right. Today we're going to talk about the emergency preparedness when it comes to food storage. And why do I call it an emergency preparedness food storage? It is what I will prioritize by throwing into my vehicle in a emergency. Now we talk about an emergency bug out bag, emergency kits, and emergency tools, and all of that type of stuff. So we do this so that we have an idea of how do we prioritize what goes into the vehicle or what goes onto the bicycle or into your bag first, right? This is the basic idea of why we categorize things. So now emergency is going to be the same kind of situation as I grab my bug out bag. I grab everybody in the family's bug out bag. I throw them in the back of the truck. And if I have time to snag a couple of things, I will snag emergency box number 1 first. If I have time and room, I will move to emergency box number 2. That being said, this is only for that I have to get out of the house right now. So this means that you're grabbing medication and you're grabbing the guns out of the safe and you're grabbing some food and a little bit of this and that, and it's time to go right away. This is now, like 10, 20 minutes, gotta go. So if you have more time, then you start to make piles of needs and wants, right? We prioritize everything with needs and wants. If you get everything that you need in the vehicle, then you can roll into the wants. Make sense? All right, so we're going to start with why do I define these as emergency and what's inside. All right, we're going to move into the over-the-shoulder format so that you'll have a good idea of what's in the box and why we selected these boxes in the first place. Now, I've used many different types of containers, and I've grown to really appreciate these Huskies. You can buy them for a little over $50 at most Home Depots. And why do I like these? Well, I've bought lots of trunks and boxes and all kinds of things, and you really just don't get what you pay for in most of those different things. So this comes with rolling wheels. So if I have to load this up or take this to the truck by myself, it makes things a lot easier. This can be a little bulky and it can also get very heavy. So you have to think about these things. You might be by yourself. Secondly, it's lockable, right? Keep locks. I have 6 locks that are all set off with one of these 2 different types of keys. I keep those keys together and with a backup set. And it's a really good setup. So we'll go into what's inside. Okay. Now, there's a lot of stuff here, and we'll quickly go through some of it. But mostly I want you to focus on the types of foods. Then you have to decide what you like and what you dislike. So one of the things is I have this container here filled with cooking equipment, matches, lighter, extra gas for propane, stove, spoons, long spoons for these Mountain House packages. And you want to keep, because this is an emergency situation, you want to keep some preparedness items inside the kit, because you might be in a situation where you've only had time to grab something like this. So therefore, you might not have access to many other gears. So this needs to be a self-contained kit all by itself. I'll put this down. Next, I have multiple different types right? I bought the 72-hour kit and the 14-day kit through Mountain House before they were a little crazy in price, but get them as you can, test them out, make sure you only buy the ones that you can tolerate eating. So understand that these are not cheap. So you better test them out and be willing to eat what's inside these boxes. There are approximately 80 meals inside this kit, right? And this is 3 serving size. Now I'm a big guy and I probably say that I could eat this and the whole thing by myself. But that being said, you could also let this serve for one family's meal for, for the day or for one breakfast or lunch or dinner. So. I keep some emergency candles in there because you just never really know what kind of situation you're going to get into. Some Taster's Choice emergency coffee. Not the best thing you're ever going to have. Add a little bit of Coffee Mate and some sugar packets that are in here, and at least it's doable. You've seen this before. I keep a lot of my electronics in these Faraday bags. You really just don't know what kind of emergency you might face. So you want to have the ability to have your technology equipment good to go when you get there. These are a couple of cheap radios and small and compact. Once again, self-contained kit. These are MRE chocolate peanut butter spread. All right, really great. Also have jalapeno cheese spread. This is the coffee, the sugar, and the salt, and anything that you can toss in there when it comes to the little, there's crushed peppers from a pizza place, stuff like that. Keep that stuff, recycle and use it. All right. Sailor Boy, pilot bread. So, crackers. A little bit of peanut butter or cheese spread on a cracker can go a long ways. It'll brighten your day up. So these will last a long time. So I put a couple of boxes into each of these different kits. All right. That's pretty much it. All right. Box number 2 is incredibly similar to the first box, and that it's got almost the same type of items. The differences are going to be the meals are a little different. This is the Alpine Air meals. A little bit less calories. I seem to like the Mountain House better when I try them out myself, but these are pretty good. Some of them can be kind of spicy. So I say always test them out. You don't want to buy or spend a lot of money on meals that you just won't want to eat. And it's an emergency, and yes, you'll eat it if you're hungry, but it's your money, so spend it how you want to spend it. In general, there's another cook kit in the second one. More coffee, more propane, stuff like that. It's very similar to the first. One box priority, second box backup, right? So you just have to decide how you want to set this up. I set them up in the smaller boxes so that I can transport them by myself. I have a larger Husky that I could probably put all of this stuff into, but then I just can't get it into the truck. You're looking at like 85 pounds, so do what you can. The next thing I want to talk about is why I would grab these over something else, right? Freeze-dried meals are more expensive, but they're also more cost-effective in the long run. When I first got into preparedness, I bought a lot of extra food, right? Canned food and, let's say, summer sausages and beef jerky and stuff like that. Over the years, I've had to replace it. It basically goes completely to waste if you don't get an opportunity to eat it, or if there's not a survival situation. So freeze-dried is a way to spend the money more efficiently. You're going to get a lot more use out of it, so that little extra upfront cost is actually not as bad. It's actually better for you in the long run. All right, that's enough for emergency food preparedness. Think about your situation, how you want to put a kit together. It doesn't have to look like this, but you have the basic idea. It's the first thing you grab after you get your bug out bags and you get in the car. You grab your rifle, you grab a bug out kit, you grab your family, you grab the food, and you get out. All right, stay safe out there. Next time we're going to talk about actual long-term food storage.